This is a documentary, the early years of Peter Caine. This would be me on the back of the tandem bicycle, the one that looks like the elf. That would be me. It's my older brother Michael. We're in Florida. I do remember that we could really get going on that tandem bicycle, although that my feet didn't reach the, when on the downstroke couldn't reach. See, but it was I could give enough power. That's our Winnebago. This is Florida for sure. We went to Florida in the Winnebago. That would be me in the surf. I'm probably first grade or something. Something like that. First or second grade, maybe. I don't think I was in kindergarten. I think I was in first grade here. I'm sort of surprised my father didn't pan the camera. He does a lot of that. Like, there's a woman walking by. All of a sudden the camera's moving. He's a photographer. He couldn't help it, I guess, My mother thought it was hysterical looking at the movies that he shot. This was my father. But as you see, I'm holding those waves back. I'm not falling down. I'm waiting for the big wave to come. And they're pushing me back, man. I was a little kid. I was pretty tiny. I think that's my brother Michael. See, that knocked me down. I probably got salt water up my nose. If anybody has had that, it's pretty terrible. No jellyfish, nothing like that. We always went to some kind of beach that was like off the hotel or something. It was always real clean beaches. Except maybe when we were in the Winnebago. That might be Boca Grande. It was this small island. My parents were looking at buying property down there, but everybody found out about it. I remember my parents going into a real estate agency and coming back, and it looked like the DuPonts were down there buying all the property up. And it was real expensive. They were like, well, this is not going to happen because, it's just too expensive. But I remember the island. It was Boca Grande. This would be a camping trip. We went on a lot of camping trips with the Lucas family. Be a lot of dogs, a lot of people. A porta potty. Kind of, that'd be Jerry Lucas and this other kid, maybe his cousin. It would be I was probably first grade here too. That's Morty. That's Judy Lucas in the back, and that would be Emily Lucas. But they, that's one of our dogs. That's Duke. My father trained Duke. I worked with him as a kid too. This would be the first known. See the dog following me? The dog had bonded to me because I worked with it. My father worked with me and the dog, so the dog would listen to me. The dog would do retrieves for me. I could walk the dog up to Tillman School. That is not my mom. That is not my dad. That's Judy and Morty. Judy's smoking. She never should have smoked. Here's me doing retrieves with Duke. That's a beer bottle I'm using for retrieves. Labs are soft mouth. There's no problem with him breaking it. That's him. I threw a rock in there. I remember I would throw rocks and he would dive. Now I don't think he'd learned that yet, but Duke could go about 10 feet down in a swimming pool, real clean water, and go pick up whatever I threw. That would be me again. Notice the physique. It's a stud back then too. Gearing up for my flyweight career. Now notice how Duke is Duke's calm before I throw it. Now I should have had him stay, but I'm in first grade there. My dad was sort of lenient. My dad was very lenient with me when it came to hunting, fishing, anything like that. He couldn't have been more calm. Not necessarily a calm dude. Well, he was a calm dude, but he'd get pissed off. We'd go in stores and stuff, and if there was a line, he'd be like, let's put the shit down, let's get out of here. And I'm like that. I got that from my dad. I'm definitely not waiting around in a store. I'm not waiting in lines. This would be me. Notice I seem to think it was how long you can hold on. It was about strength. It wasn't about, you know, jumping in at the right point. That'd be Morty Lucas sitting next to my mom. My mom's drinking coffee, holding her probably cigarette case up to her face. Mike, turn the camera off. Mike, go away. Mike, would you stop that? Just go away. I'm drinking coffee. Same thing. I think we were on the Norfolk River here. I believe. I believe so. We'd go fairly long. It'd be 4 days or something. Not my mother, Judy. That's how many cars went on this camping trip on this one. So you can tell there were quite a few people. This might have been another camping trip, to tell you the truth. This might be the one where some of the older kids found some weed plants and tried drying them on the top of the tent. It's this, 60s, early 70s. That's my brother Michael. Notice how I'm going to come over and tell him he's doing it wrong. No, you have your leash extended with the Chihuahua. That was Pancho. It's the porta potty. This would be, what is that? That's my mom walking up the hill, carrying Pancho. My older brother behind my mom. That's some other kids. No idea. Maybe that's one of the Lucas kids, I think. I believe so. Pretty sure. Yep. So all the chairs. It was a big production. It was. Like, we'd go on these camping trips. Like, there would be all kinds, my dad and Morty would sort of go overboard. That would be me, the short one in the orange trunks, probably. Pretty sure that would be me. Yeah, that would be me. This might have been the camping trip where I got swimmer's ear. It was a pretty bad infection. I remember most of the time I felt really bad. There was talk about, like, taking me. I think we went home early because I was, like, really sick. So I think the decision was made to get me out of there. Nothing like creek water, It's not. That's a stream. That's John Newhouse. Somebody who's always cooking. That was my dad's friend from high school. There's my mother. I'm sitting next to her. I feel sick, so I'm quite the mama's boy. I was really pretty ill. Had a bad temperature. Like I said, they got me out of here. I can't remember who that guy's name was. Some character showed up from Michigan. It's Jimbo and Jerry, I believe. Or John, I'm not sure. There's Morty. I always had that Rapala fillet knife on his side. We would go dove hunting. That's John Newhouse. We go dove hunting. Morty Lucas always had that knife. He always had one of those. Like one of those Rapala fillet knives. That'd be my brother Michael. Sitting next to some girl, which is sort of ironic. That's me, sick, in my mom's lap. I was pretty ill. I was started getting sick, and then was running a temperature. So it was talking about running me into a doctor in town, but then it was just like, no, he's got a real bad ear infection. Let's get him out of there. That's my brother Michael, laying next to some girl. Like I said, that's ironic. That's fucking funny. That would be me in the black Speedo looking thing. Not sure what those bathing suits, I'm sure that they were in style. My mom was really about dressing us stylish and like twins, where we're not twins, we're 22 months apart, so I don't really know what that was about. Like, we had to have, that's me falling down, running too fast into the ocean. There I am. Look at the physique. That is me for sure. You can tell I'm a monster. Now this may be Puerto Rico. It may be Puerto Rico or it may be Florida. We went on several trips besides the Winnebago trip. There I am. Notice my skill at diving. I'm a terrible swimmer. Anything that has to do with water. This is Puerto Rico. Yeah, this would be a trip. We went to Puerto Rico, where it's in San Juan there, I believe. Maybe, yeah, wherever that is, some castle. You saw it. I remember we got yelled at here. Gringo, go home, which is sort of ironic, considering my dad's complexion. My mother's not necessarily her complexion, but I don't know. She has a sort of ethnic look to her. So, but we got screamed at. I'm sure it was our attire. We're obviously tourists. Look at the way we're dressed. Dress the kids in health techs and stuff like that. My dad isn't putting down the camera. Obviously, that's a very important shot for him, is the ocean. This was so long ago. This was shot on Super 8. I just figured that it was worthwhile to see. Yeah, it's a documentary, once I'm gone, people are going to want to see. Yeah, have Peter Caine live. Those giant cannonballs, impossible to move. Trust me, I tried. They do not move. I might have even welded them in place. I had a fairly normal childhood. Father was an alcoholic. Mother was sort of insane. It's your average dysfunctional household. I'm not wearing. Somebody has their flip-flops off. It might be me. It's my mother, my brother Michael, and me. And we're still at this. Maybe this Blackbeard's castle, or I don't know what it was. It's something like that. Some castle. Here we're going deep sea fishing. I believe this is not Florida. This might be Puerto Rico, and this might be when there was a small craft warning out. We go deep sea fishing a couple of times. One time it was very enjoyable. Then another time there was a small craft warning out, and it was scary. It was scary, and the boat would get you. All you'd see is the sky. My dad is like, oh, as long as the captain was cool, my dad was like, yeah, let's go. At a point where we were deep sea fishing one time, I felt seasick. So did my brother. I was scared. I remember being scared because it was like you go in these swells. This looks pretty calm. This might be Florida. This might be where I caught the bonita. I caught a fish, and then we had it mounted. My brother caught a barracuda. He had that mounted. I have a barracuda right now that has John Waters' signature on it, which is much bigger than the barracuda my brother caught. Now, this is getting sort of rough. This might be Puerto Rico. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, see how you're starting to go down on these swells? It might be Puerto Rico, and that's when it was pretty horrendous. Pretty horrendous. I would have rather not have gone out, but my dad was into sport fishing and hunting and stuff, and I would have never told him. I would have never said, no, let's go back, but I know that my mother was speaking for us. Like, this is pretty insane. There's a sub base. Can't remember. I think that might be Florida. We might be in Florida here. I remember I was going down on a sub once. My father met some guy, and there was an officer, and talked him into taking us. This is Puerto Rico because this is sugarcane fields. Talked him into taking us down on the sub, which we couldn't even. That's pineapples. That's Puerto Rico. You can't even really tell that you're moving in a sub, and the guy ended up getting in trouble. You can't move a submarine. And I don't really know how my dad talked him into it. I have no idea. I guess my father was a likable guy. It's my brother and a macaw. Not a real bird, not a real animal lover, my brother. Not an animal hater, though. No, I guess when we were kids, my brother was into animals. We had fish tanks and mice and stuff like that. I had more. I was more into it than him for sure. But no, I guess I would say that my brother was into animals. You know, it interested him. Would that be me with a real bad sunburn? I have sun poisoning, right? Yeah, see? Look at me. I'm like a slee stack. Look at how I'm sitting, how I'm standing. I'm just like miserable. My face is burnt. Everything's burnt. There's my dad, of course, playing putt-putt golf, who isn't burnt because he's got real dark skin. So, no problem for him because he was shades darker than all of us. Father had the same complexion as like Punch. That'd be a good description of my father's complexion. It would be like Punch from Chips. Very dark skin, black hair. This is the Virgin Islands, I believe. Yep, we're in the Virgin Islands. We went over there chartered a flight and went over there to, I don't know, my parents wanted to do some shopping or something. Just go see it. That's the Virgin Islands. Because I remember I thought that this was real cool, like how the buildings were just so different, like this. It just seemed like we're in such a different, you know. It wasn't St. Louis, Missouri anymore, that's for sure. I don't know what this is that my father's taking a picture of. That'd be public housing or something. Could be some kind of public housing. Yeah, see, that's what we went to the Virgin Islands on, was this plane. I remember that. I remember that it wasn't like being on a jet. It was sort of scarier or something. It was like, you know, you're on a little plane. Yeah, definitely the Virgin Islands. We might have gone to St. Croix and St. Thomas. It's hard for me to remember exactly. That's where we are, though. Clearly, that's the Virgin Islands. It's cool looking. I wish I could go down there right now. Too tied down with dogs and art and everything to be able to skip out and do anything like that. But like, look at that. The houses built up on the hill, which I'm sure have been knocked down many times by hurricanes. There was a time when I was looking at buying property in the Virgin Islands. There I am holding my mom's hand, being a real mama's boy. You know, like there was this time that like, I can't remember the exact year, but there'd been a hurricane and I was going to buy property, go down there and live, you know, because it was cheap, but like I was buying a gutted, you know, it was gutted. It was like a concrete building sort of that had the roof torn off of it. There's some people that we met. They were our friends for the trip, I guess. I don't know who they were. My mom will talk to anybody, that's for sure. Mom's was a talker. She'd talk anybody's ear off. Like, you'd be in a restaurant with Sue, and Sue would start talking to the busboy, and you're like, Sue, he's trying to work. He's trying to be polite. You can tell the guy's trying to get away. Or the waitress is trying to get away. They're trying to work, and my mom's just thinking that they're there to have a conversation with or something. That was Sue. Yeah, I don't regret not moving down there. There were periods in my life when I wanted to move places, and I found out early on, there it's me and my brother, the one with brown hair. I found out very early that things don't change by moving your location. You're as happy as you're going to be any place. Absolutely. You move someplace thinking that life is going to be better. It's not. It's not going to be any better. It's going to be the same, and it can even be worse because you don't know anybody, or you got to get a stupid job that you hate to survive. You know, it's just like if the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. Just stay where you're at and try and produce as much art while you're here. That's been my approach. It has. It's been my approach for a long time. I stopped thinking that things would get better by moving when I moved to Chicago. Now, I did move to New York City, of course, but I moved because I didn't want to be the big fish in the little pond anymore. And that's essentially what it was I had so many reviews. I must have had 24 reviews in 1 year or something. I was reviewed in everything in that town. There was no place left to go except New York City. I remember this dude that was sort of in a halfway house and sort of working in this building that was a loft type building that artists were in. And I said, yeah, I'm moving to New York. And he said, they'll eat you alive up there. And I'm like, well, you're a joke. You're just coming out of prison. Why are they going to eat me alive in New York? You don't even know me, dude. You know, some dick. They'll eat me alive in New York. Okay, Tool. Yeah, those people, I don't know who they were. Some people my mom probably started talking to. I don't know. They're probably from Wisconsin or Michigan, as I remember, something like that. It's pretty cool looking, right? I like those islands, the mountains and the islands. I remember in Puerto Rico, my father bought a Ruger down there. That was back when you could just buy a gun and, you know, put it in your suitcase and travel. There's me making one of my famous faces. There you go. There you go. That would be me right there. Nothing's changed. Look at that suit, man. Another suit my mom picked out. I wonder if my brother's looks just like mine. Might be. Hanging off of my brother. That would be my mom with her Mike, go away. Stop it. Is that my dad? Yeah, that's my dad doing some of his famous photography. See how he's concentrating on the important things right there? That's important. That would be my dad. Girl with pigtails and a cherry bomb. Yeah, my dad's really doing. Yeah, he's working hard on it, getting better at photography. That's what he's doing. That was my dad, all right. Yeah, he's still doing it. I think my mom saw this and she was real impressed. You know, would be me again. We bought that down there. Where are we here? This looks like Puerto Rico, I think, or maybe not. Those houses look more like Florida. We might be in Florida here. I'm not quite sure. It's a lot of trips in a plane. You know, like, oh, isn't that's the classic shot from like, oh, look how high we are. Isn't that interesting? Not really. Back in the day it was, like, you know, we're going somewhere. We're going to some island, clearly. You know, as a kid, I think I found it interesting how high we were. Didn't see any UFOs. Should be a house we owned in Kirkwood, Missouri. That would be Melissa Layton, my brother, and me. It's a sandbox that the neighbor's cat would come in and use. That would be me flapping my arms for some reason. Not sure what that's about. That would be one of the dogs. That would be Duke or Susie. Not really sure who. Not sure. I like that doghouse that my father built out of the oak barrel, though. I think that my father was real sort of handy with wood. He made that sandbox for sure. Um, he could build stuff for he's much more attention to detail than myself. Um, I'd pick on him. So 7 years. I'm 7 years old here. I didn't want to hold the sign, so my mother's holding it. Yeah, there you go. I don't want to hold it. Okay, so this would be 7. This is what I got for my birthday. It's a bike that I really can't fit on. That's a Raleigh Chopper. Those go for big money nowadays. Was not a 3-speed. I believe that's a 5-speed. Absolutely. See, a pretty normal sort of childhood. Had a bike which got stolen. I remember even those were the price of those things new were pretty atrocious. You know that no, I got one, and then I think my brother Michael got one too. That front tire, that chopper, like that's not necessarily such a. Notice that dismount? An athlete. Here's my garden. Here's my first garden. Now my legs are itchy because I remember there were chiggers. I'm threatening my dad that I'm going to squirt him. Me and my dad got along pretty good. It's my brother's bike, the black one. I had the yellow one. I probably should have had the black one. Would have made more sense for some reason. That was the first garden I had. I had gardens like when I was a kid, like first, second, third grade. Now I have a garden. I had a garden this year. It was the first time since I was a kid. This is somebody's birthday, obviously. There I am. The brown hair. It's my brother. The blonde hair. That's me jumping up and down. It's Melissa Layton, I believe Todd Layton right there. Now, the candles are trick candles. You can't blow them out. Right? And my brother's getting pissed. And then my mom thinks that's funny. She thought that that's hysterical. Let's give Michael candles he can't blow out. Isn't that funny? Another sign. You're supposed to say how old you were. I hated those things. I hated the cake that my mom would make for our birthdays. It was always the same cake. It always had this marshmallow icing. It was vanilla. It was gross. Like, can't you just get us chocolate? Like we wanted chocolate, but and then we'd tell her afterwards. We'd always say, "Well, I like chocolate." Oh, I thought you liked that. Oh, so you don't listen to anything that we say. It's about you. It was about her. This is a rathskeller my father built. It was every birthday. It was that. It was the vanilla cake with that marshmallow icing goo stuff that comes out of a jar. It's disgusting. Hated it. I'd just not even eat it sometimes. This would be Pinewood Derby. This is a Pinewood Derby where my father actually got busted for cheating. What he did was he built my brother's car pretty much. But that wasn't the problem because we saw that a lot. Like some cars just looked a little too good. It was clear that, my father brought a Dremel tool out and was using a router and shit. But what my dad did was that he put lead in the bottom of it, and just in case he was going to get busted, he had a drill with him to drill out the lead, and that's what he did. And my brother's car came in second, still came in second with meeting the weight specifications. That's my Uncle John with his stewardess girlfriend. He always had stewardess girlfriends. Stewardesses were a real big sensation back in the day. If you were going to date a hot broad, it was going to be a stewardess. And John Newhouse, he always had a stewardess girlfriend. He had some money, sort of like never got married, sort of the playboy type guy. I always had the hot-looking broad, and he'd bring over sort of extravagant Christmas gifts. This would be a Christmas. I remember those pajamas. I liked them a lot. I think they had a turtle on them. Something. We're getting something there. I don't know. There's back in the day. First, we get a lot of toys. It's always a lot. I remember that rocking chair. I don't know. Oh, that's a chemistry set. I got a chemistry set. I like that a lot. There's a lot of stuff in there. None of it, like you could check pH and stuff like that. There was a bunch of stuff. Don't know what I'm getting here. Probably some Major Matt Mason, because I was really into Major Matt Mason. Not sure what that... Oh, it's croquet set. Yeah, croquet, sure. We played that. I'm pretty good at croquet. There's Hot Wheels in the background. There's a Hot Wheel track and one of those pitchbacks. That would be the Christmas tree with all kinds of stuff on it. We're playing that game where you knock one of the things out with the hammer. Looks like my mother's joining in, trying to get us. My brother's terrible at it. Is that John Newhouse again? This is a new Christmas. John Newhouse has a new stewardess girlfriend. She's pretty hot, back in the day. She's looking hot. He always did real good with the ladies. So, she looks good. Good job, John Newhouse. Always the fashionable stewardess. I always remember that it was always stewardesses, and that was the deal back in the day. I do remember my dad. Well, my dad was always talking about stewardesses, like it was the equivalent of a model. Oh yeah, there's stewardesses. Oh really, Dad? That's great. Thank you for sharing that with me. There's a Hot Wheels track. The Hot Wheels were not motorized. They were just, it was just gravity. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But Sue's gonna smoke a cigarette for us. She smoked until she dropped. That's me doing a robot, I believe. Yes, I am. I'm doing the robot. Yep. That's me practicing some of my dancing, and that's my car. That's a Major Matt Mason car that my brother has. But I'm sure there's more dancing coming up. I'm really good at dancing. So one of our latest Bigfoot. See, it's like a repetitive robot dance. It's pretty good. I guess it stopped. It's my brother. He went fishing with my dad, which is ironic because he didn't like to do that kind of stuff. I like to do that stuff, but I think my dad and my mom had a fight, and they went trout fishing someplace. And me and my mom, the decision was made. You do something with Michael. I think that's what it was about. And I'll do something with Peter. And my mom took me to go see Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which was an R-rated movie. It wasn't too racy or anything. But notice the Michelob in the background. So that's what they did. It would be me in a dog kennel. And then the dog house. I believe that's me. Or is that my brother Michael? That would be my brother Michael. That is not me. I love that dog. I love both those dogs, Duke and Susie, but I really like Duke. Duke was awesome. Yeah, there's Duke. Duke liked me. Look at that big dumb dog. It's a really nice lab. It's friendly. Big dummy. I miss that dog. It was the first dog that I got to respond to me, with trained commands. It was due to my dad. My dad would spend time with me, doing that kind of stuff. he'd take a lab up to the school, the like look at my brother. He's sort of lost around the big dog. Here's my brother throwing a softball. There you go. He's throwing a softball. Yeah, see, it's not straight. This would be a block party, and somebody rented a horse. Now we had horses. This was just like something that was like done on our street. There's probably nothing with the. I bet there's no Super 8 of Duke the horse. There was Duke the dog and Duke the horse. And Duke the horse was out at the slaughterhouse, and I would ride that, and I kind of feel bummed out that there is no. Is that Duke or Susie? I believe that is Duke. There's Sue, smoking a cig, of course. Bitching out my dad. You know, I got chiggers. Why don't you do something about these chiggers in the yard? Yeah, something like that. Why don't you go take a picture of the dog? Like, he's a really nice dog. He was. That's Duke, not Susie. That's an important shot. There's Duke taking a pee. Just typical big dumb Labrador. That would be my dad. Looks like he had just finished training a dog because he's got a leash on his belt. That would be me. That would be putting the swing set together. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Maybe that's Susie, the lab puppy, or maybe I'm not sure which lab that is. But it's a cute Labrador. And I vaguely remember putting that swing set together. Vaguely. That's Melissa. No relation to us, just a kid in the neighborhood. She was my my brother Michael's friend. That's my brother Michael. I don't know. I don't know if we're taking this apart or putting it together. I'm not really sure. I remember that screwdriver though, big giant screwdriver. Maybe we're taking this down because we're gonna put a new one up. That could be it. I think that's it. We take this apart, maybe get rid of it, and maybe a dog kennel goes there. Yep, I think that's it. We're going to get rid of the old rusty swing set so that the kids don't, we're getting rid of it so that the kids don't get tetanus. So we're going to throw that away and put a dog kennel there. Don't know what's going on over there at the side of the house. Might have been my father was putting in the ratskeller or something. That would be me. There's the lab. Saw me like stink on catfish. That's Duke. I get along great with that dog. You can see that dog in that shot when we're camping. It's just following me around. I go out there. There's me dancing again, of course. Somebody else's birthday. There I am making faces. There's Sue. Having a cocktail of some sort. My mother wasn't really a drinker, so I don't really know what she's having. Oh, I'm doing the funky chicken dance is what that is, right? That's an awesome dance. I'm going to use this later. I forgot about that. I will do that. I will do that later. I'm still using a lot of the same moves, but I completely forgot about the funky chicken. That's my brother's dog Poncho that hated everyone because my brother coddled it, held it. It was very confused. Slept in the bed. Dog was a mess. It was an indoor dog. I remember one day Poncho got out, and I was homesick. I was in second grade. I remember coaxing it back in. Am I dancing again? Yeah, maybe. It's a dance-off, I think. Dance contest. but I got the dog back in using food. He'd pick on me. I wasn't gonna put up with it. There's no way. There's a bag of charcoal briquettes. My father always used those kind of briquettes. That kid, I don't know who that is. I know the one kid's Melissa, and I don't know who the other kid is. Oh, look at this. Classic. She stepped in dog poop. Look at my mother washing her feet off. Oh, see, they're fighting. Ridiculous-like. It's not how you fight. I should show them more of my moves, my fighting skills. I got rather polished at that later. Notice the outfits we're wearing. That's my father's rose garden. Now, why he wanted a rose garden, I'm not sure. But he was into roses. Here we are playing putt-putt golf. There I am with the striped shirt and brown pants. This is obviously another party. I got a birthday party. It's a maple tree we're sitting under. It's like this wrought iron table. It had a glass top. I remember it distinctively. I remember that maple tree. I have stuff buried in that backyard. If I had a lot of money, I'd buy the house and go dig this stuff up if it's still there, but I doubt it is because I think I put it in a Pringles can. So it's probably not around anymore. It's clearly it's my birthday. This would be a lemonade stand, it looks like. There's Sue, that's my mom. It's Melissa, my brother's friend. And here I come. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna hit my brother Michael, my older brother. And I'm gonna hide behind Sue, so my dad can't take a video of me. That's classic. That's classic. Bother Sue. Don't let my dad take the video. I'm not even there. I'm shadowing my mom. See, look at my skills on shadowing. Now this would be when my Morty came to try and talk me and my dad into going hunting, I believe. I think. And I believe my dad said he couldn't go. And my mom was like, Mike, just go. You know, just go. And it was like, but yeah, Mike, just get the boy. He was talking about me, and let's go. They were going to Saskatchewan. And my dad, I think, had quit drinking at the time. And my dad wasn't always an alcoholic. He was, but he quit drinking at a point. And that was one of the times he had tried to quit drinking. And he knew that if he went with them, that would be me. That would be my party. He knew that if he went with them, that he probably would have drank. So he said he couldn't go. He used some excuse like he was low on funds or something. Morty and John Newhouse said something like, I remember this. They go, just put it on a credit card. That's what we're all doing. I'd like to. That's what he said. I'd like to, but we just can't. Look at that. Do you see that? Showing the posterior. I'm under the table at this point. Look at that. I'm blowing out the candles. Did my mom use the trick candles? Is she screwing with my head? Looked like she just put one on there. Like just screwing with my head. Like you could blow out every candle except one that'll never blow out. Here we are at the St. Louis Zoo. This is Sue organizing all the kids. You know, on that train. Thank God it didn't derail with all those children on there. That would be me. So polar bears. That enclosure smelled. So did this one. That's like the one with all the ducks in it and stuff. All these enclosures with the water in them smelled horrendous. Smelled really bad. There's Sue trying to keep the kids from jumping into the lion den. Here's a kid all dressed up. That's not me. Usually my mom, other parties they would make us dress up. Like, see that kid with like the blue coat on, and my mom would, if we were going to somebody's party, we had to wear a coat and tie. Always. You're going to wear a coat and tie. Now there were crows that like this. This is an interesting trip because we were eating hot dogs and a crow was stealing the kids' our hot dogs. And one time a crow landed on the one kid's head, on this kid's head, pecked him in the head. He dropped the hot dog, and the crow flew off with the hot dog, and the kid started crying. And I just kept thinking, like, why are you crying? I said something to him, like, why are you crying? Why are you upset? I wish a crow would peck me in the head. You know, like, what's the big deal? Like, you're lucky. It's my birthday. I should have been pecked in the head by the crow. And then we went into the giant aviary that they have there, and the kid was terrified. My mom had to, like, you know, really watch him because it was traumatic to the kid. My mom went to the shack where she got the hot dogs and stuff from and said, you know, there's crows out here. That would be me. There's crows out here pecking the kids. There's another lab puppy. There's crows out here pecking the kids in the head and stealing hot dogs. And they're like, yeah, they'll do that. They're here every day. Like, I don't know what my mom expected. That'd be Sue with Poncho in the bed. That's a bad idea with a dog that, like, I guess my mom and my little brother both screwed up that dog. You know, you couldn't tell either of them anything. That'd be my brother Michael trying to skate. I'm a terrible skater. You think my brother's bad? You should see me skating. Terrible. But see, my mom screwed up because when she bought us ice skates, what did she buy? Look at those. Those are figure skates. I didn't want figure skates. Where are you going to get me figure skates? Get Michael figure skates. I wanted, you know, hockey skates. So I never wanted to go because my skates were embarrassing. They were embarrassing. That's Michael and Melissa. They're taking some kind of skating lesson, which I never took. But that would be me today, like as a 57-year-old. This would be how I would be skating, right there. Terrible. I'm just not good with the water sports. I can swim underwater. It's exhausting. I just don't have a lot of fat, so I sort of sink. I mean, I can swim. I don't get the ice skating though. It's cold. Like, you know, I just, you know, and my brother's terrible. I'm not sure why I wasn't there. Maybe I wasn't old enough to take this ice skating lessons or something, but obviously Michael's the worst. But there he's getting help. My dad's probably taking the picture because of the hottie that's helping him. You know, I mean, I'm sure I could have learned. And I believe my brother to this day can actually skate decently because he went to school. He went to school at Colgate, and I believe that he did skiing and ice skating up there. And I think that Eddie actually learned how to throw a ball properly. He couldn't as a kid though. He was terrible at throwing a ball. That's the point I knew where my brother's gay. But I would always, like, back him up. Like, somebody would say something like, your brother, your brother, whatever term, derogatory term that they would use. But, no, he's not, like that. You know, we were kids, That was, like, something bad or something. Now, who would care nowadays? Like, and, he gets to make his decision anyway, so. But I remember that. I said, no, he's not. But I always knew, even before my brother came out of the closet, I'm like, he's gay. He got married. I can't imagine the pressure that is on people that are gay. It's got to be rough. It's got to be rough. I'm sure it was tough for Michael to come out. And from what I hear, it's like the people that wait long, it's even tougher. Nowadays, kids, they just, they're in high school, they'll come out of the closet. There I am again. It's my brother Michael. There I am. That's a dance I'm going to have to remember. This one. Yep. I'm going to use that. I'll use that in a future video for sure. This is some Christmas. I'm not sure what year this is. These are not chronological. I look pretty young there. I'd have to be first grade or something. first or second grade. There I am. That's a dance. I do a lot of that. I was quite the dancer when I was younger. Yeah, I'm not sure what year that is. Looking at Seuss, like kind of beehive-ish haircut, I assume that's late 60s, early 70s or something like that. It would have to be. Like if I was 5, be 68, 69. That's Pancho the Chihuahua. And see my mother doing the wrong thing with it. That dog did not like me too much. There's my dad not looking too fat at this point. That's probably the heaviest that I ever saw him. He's probably 200 or something there, 210, something like that. My dad was 6'1", 6 foot, 6'1". So it wasn't too heavy there. It's another lab chewing on a stick, which I'm surprised my dad's allowing that. But he is. Guess he's too enthralled with getting the puppy on film. God, look at labs. They're so clumsy and stupid. I love them. Here's this lab's going to knock me down, I think. I loved growing up with those dogs. Look at my outfit. It's pretty sweet. There's another dance. Not sure what this is about. Oh, okay. So that's upstairs. I'm doing the dance and the face together. Drinking something. Looks like Kool-Aid. On the rocks, of course. I always drank everything with ice in it as a kid. There's my mom and Pancho. Yeah, that's a room that I must have been about first grade. Yeah, Mike, turn off the camera. Now, where are we here? Not sure where we are. We might be at the Lucases. That's a Christmas thing. Okay, here's another Christmas shot. It's a Tyco train set or car set. That's a car set. Oh, this is big Christmas for me. I was 5 years old here. I was 5. Keep in mind, I'm 5 years old. That's my first gun. It's a BB gun. It's a Benjamin pump. It's a wood stock, wood pump handle. That's an awesome gun. Got a telescope. There's my dad in his boxer shorts. Don't remember. Yeah, there you go. Fishing rod. It's all the stuff that I would want. Fishing pole. A BB gun. The BB gun I got endless hours of enjoyment out of. I would go out to the slaughterhouse and we'd just go around with our BB guns. Or ride the horses or slide down hills, like this big hill, like a made it into a big slide, like a sort of like dirt slide. Not really anything my brother Michael was interested in. I consider my brother Michael sensitive. I was less sensitive, of course. Michael's getting books there, which I like some books, but I like books on animals. That's Time Bomb. It was a game where you know, it'd go off if you were holding it, you lost. I don't know what that is. Is that Major? Oh, that's a robot that I wish I had to this day. You know, like, that's sweet. I bet that thing, if I had that new, would buy me a new car. See, I was so small. I was 5 years old, right? I was 4.5, probably. I wouldn't be 5 until May. I didn't have enough strength to like push that down. My mother's, it's even given her some trouble. But I learned to do it for sure. Now I'm pulling the trigger, but there's no BB in it. It's my telescope. Thing didn't work real good. It didn't. This is a Stutz Bearcat. It's like the prototype to anything decent. You know, it worked. It was battery operated. It worked. Its turning radius was terrible. It really wasn't the quality that they have now. I'm going to be driving it into the Chippendale furniture and shit. It was enjoyable to have something that you could drive like this. It was just like, it just wasn't. It had plastic wheels, not rubber wheels. It was real rough. That'd be my little brother John. John just appeared. Okay, that would be me. That's got to be John's. I would be 9 there. See how my hair's getting long? I'd be 9 years old, 9 or 10. That would be John's first birthday. See, that's me next to John with the long hair. It's my friend Tom Nye next to me. And it's John. He would be, I don't know how old he is. 1. There's 9 years difference in our ages. So if he's 1. So I would be 10. I don't think John knows what's going on there. He didn't get it. Of course he doesn't. He's 1 year old. You know. I don't know. Like, and there's that cake that my mom always made us that sucked. It was terrible. It was a terrible cake. This is my little brother. He's cute. He's a cute kid. Yeah. He's like, what? Just wants the attention. Now he's got all the goo on his hands because my mom couldn't have a cake with decent icing. Now he's going to get it all over. So always that marshmallow icing, you know. Oh, yeah, he's really going to love that. You gave him a blue sunsuit. Oh, that's great. He's really going to enjoy that. Everything a 1-year-old would want. Yeah, I don't get it. That would be me off to the side. He's got that happy apple thing. I do remember that. That would be me making the face. Still making a face. These are kids from across the street. I think one of the strangest things about this is that Rudolph that my little brother is grabbing at. His birthday is not in December. I don't know why there's a blow up Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer there. That makes no sense. It's not even close to Christmas. I think his birthday's in June or something. Something like that. It's like June. I don't know why there's a Rudolph there. But there once again is that terrible cake that my mother would make for every. Oh, there's that one of those dog things. That terrible cake that my mom would always make for everybody's birthday. I swear to God, every time she made it, we would ask her, why did you make that? Like, oh, because you all like it. You didn't hear anything that we ever say? Is it just convenient for you? There's my dad smoking a cigarette with John on his shoulders. That's how it was back in the day. Cigarettes were smoked constantly. I'm sure my mother smoked when she was giving labor. Seriously. Weird, right? Like, you think about that now, like you would never smoke around a baby. It was just sort of commonplace. It was like even there'd be ashtrays in hospitals and stuff. You know, there, look at my hair. Look at my hair. See, that's my see, there's the Christy McNichol hair I got going. Oh, look at this. Oh, hang on. I gotta I gotta show Katya this. Hang on. I sort of remember this. I can't remember this what this was about. Um, I'm not really. I do remember this. It's something to do with my brother. I don't think it had to do with his birthday. Maybe it was the first time he had ice cream or something. Something like that. I mean, clearly, for the stuff that my dad... Yeah, here it is. Yes, it's the first time my little brother had ice cream. I'm not really sure why this is such an event, but maybe it's just an excuse for my dad to get the Super 8 out. But as I remember, it just became a mess, and my little brother might have gotten bummed out because it's a mess. Like it's like what is this? Like, what's sort of torture the child with cold and stickiness? Well, he seems to like it right there, but I think he likes it because we're all standing around watching him. But like, look, he's just playing with it. Like, what is that? What is that? I don't know. I don't remember them doing it with like the first piece of steak he ate. It's like, oh, okay, let's go to Dairy Queen or wherever and get John a ice cream cone, and then he can chew on the bottom of it. Not even. Oh, look at me putting it in John's face. I don't get it. There's a real high chair he's got though, or whatever it's called. That's a high chair, right? I could use that in art if I had it right now. All those things, like from that time period and when I was growing up, so many of them were recalled because of like, they were dangerous. Like that bouncy chair that kids would get in to like kind of teach them how to walk, and then they'd bounce down the steps. That would just be common sense, though. It's strange that people are allowed to have children that don't have any common sense, like zero common sense. Like this thing, like the high chair, like maybe this one was considered safe. There's my mom smoking. That's not common sense. I'm sure by this time, John is 9 years younger than me, so I must be 10 or 11 years old. It was common knowledge that cigarettes were not healthy for you, but it was so common to see people smoking around children. Oh yeah, look, see, I've really put on some size there. It's strange I have like a wiffle ball bat or a baseball bat in my hands, because that was not really a sport that I was good at. It's not really one that I enjoyed, so I'm not really sure why I have that. My dad with sideburns. Picking up Johnny's a mess. He's taking him into the bathtub, as I remember. Yep. And now the video continues where my dad gives John a bath. See, I remember this. I do remember this day. Yeah, I was old enough to, sort of imprint upon me. I mean, my little brother, there were times that I had to take care of him. I changed that kid's diapers and stuff like that. I had to babysit him. Oh, there's my older brother as Uncle Sam. I'm not really sure. I can't remember what this is. The 4th of July or something. He's got some snazzy trousers on for sure. But I had to really work to get the information off of the DVD and get it into digital. I had to buy a thing online that would help clean it off. I don't know what this parade. Maybe it's a 4th of July parade. I see a flag up. Um, some. Look at that. Look at these. The bikes are all decorated. There's somebody dressed up like I don't remember having taken part in this, but maybe I'm behind Michael. No, I don't. That's not me. I might have been. Fuck it. This is stupid. I was like that as a kid. Yeah, there I am. See, I'm up there in the window. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm looking out the window, and then my dad got me on film. That's Melissa. She's older now. But I remember I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to wear the stupid pants. See the stupid pants my brother's wearing? The red and white pants? My mom, just didn't get it. I did not want to look uncool. Why would I want to look like a tool? That was me showing off. That wasn't really fair. Here's my brother in his red and white pants. Just taking care of my little brother. We would both do a lot of that. Take care of John. Here's Sue with longer hair and wearing her red and white pants. Her and Michael are twins instead of her, Michael, and me. I refused to wear the outfit. There was just no way I was wearing it. I got to a point where I'm like, that's stupid. I'm not doing it. I was opinionated, and I gave my opinion. Definitely gave my opinion. And when it came to I'd had enough of it. Going to birthday parties dressed in a coat and tie, stuff like that, where maybe me and one other kid would be in a coat and tie. Finally, my mother gave up with that. But it went on for a long time. It did. Oh, here's another Christmas. I look older here. Well, it should be about the same time frame because then my mother has longer hair. I have longer hair, and John is here. So I must have been, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. I think this is the point where we start getting clothes for Christmas and crap like that. They're like, yeah, that's great. Thanks for the, what's my brother have? A toothbrush in his hand? Thanks for the toothbrush. Or, it's just like, what's this? I don't want to seem ungrateful as a kid, but it was sort of like, oh no, I got a bow. That's a bow I got. So clearly it wasn't all. Boy, I wish I had that recurve bow right now. Oh, look, that's sweet. I remember that. It wasn't all closed, but it did sort of transition, from just stuff that like BB guns and like this bow into you get something and then you get like clothes like it became more about that kind of stuff. There's a Cupid doll in John's walking high chair thing. We're sort of opening it up for John because he's still like an amoeba. I don't know how old John would be there. I guess he's probably pushing 2 or something. I don't know. He's not walking, but I guess he's walking soon. I can't remember what time that takes place. We're in the basement that the rathskeller that my dad built. Looks like I'd had a haircut recently, and my mother gave me the haircut. My mother would do that. She'd give us haircuts, and sometimes it did. Oh, there's John Newhouse again with another stewardess. Isn't she lovely? She looks a little bit like Priscilla Presley. It's John opening up some champagne, it looks like. She's smoking a cigarette. Here are us kids off in the distance. I think I'm checking out John Newhouse's girlfriend, I'm sure. Yeah, stewardess, definitely. That was his deal. No, that wasn't champagne. That was a bottle of red wine. I don't know why I was thinking champagne. Clearly had a corkscrew in his hand. Okay, here I am on a 10 speed. I've been upgraded to a 10-speed, where I was. It's a bike that doesn't fit. You know, they bought me stuff thinking that I would grow into it, which is absurd because I was never big. I was never big. My one brother might be 6'1". My other brother Michael, he's 5'11", and I was never even close. This is Camp Holy Cross that I went to in Colorado. It was a camp. I wanted to go there for running, and there was also horses. And this is right when this is the first time I've seen John. This was right after John was born, and it was a Catholic-run camp, and they left me alone, thank God. I think that they left me alone because I was Protestant. So I think that it was like, hands off the Protestant kid, we'll get in trouble. Now, that abbey, the abbey, there were cases out of that place. So, I was just talking about that with my girlfriend, like, every place, it seems like every place that there was a Catholic school or church, around the world, there has been problems. Like this vow of celibacy, it seems like it didn't. I don't know. It's like pedophiles flock to. History proves this. Like, I'm not saying all of them. Certainly, there were some moral priest, absolutely. But I mean, has it been a problem? Definitely. I can safely say that the Catholic Church's reputation is sort of destroyed. That was me dressed up in Indian gear. We would have to make these Indian outfits. That would probably be me. The one with the less Indian outfits, I thought it was kind of stupid. Didn't really want to do it. Some kids were really into it, playing Indian. I would have rather been a cowboy. Notice I don't really have anything on. I just have like the loincloth, and maybe I made the necklace thing. I was not into this at all. I just thought it was stupid. I was there to run and to ride horses, and that was it. That was the only reason why I was there. There I am. See, I don't have any garb on very much. Not into it. But that's why I wanted to go to the camp. Was to run. A couple of kids that I went to that camp with were from Mexico, and both of those brothers went off to win like gold in the Olympics. They're from a famous running family in Mexico. Both of them got Olympic medals. Their kids are now doing it. Famous running family. Very nice people. It was one of the kids was my roommate. Very polite. Very nice parents. I remember that it was very interesting having him as my roommate at base camp. He was fast. I mean, he was so fast that both these kids were so fast that the counselors that were adults, that like there were some of these counselors that were running in college, like that kind of level. These little kids would like keep up with them. Like, these were little tiny kids that could keep up with them on long races going up, mountains. We're in Colorado. Some of these races were like, we ran through the Royal Gorge, running up mountains. There was tough races for little kids. Like, look at me. Like, I am tiny. I'm a second grader there. I'm not a big kid, but I was, that's what I wanted to do. Just sort of. That's Morty Lucas's car, I think. That's Judy. I guess my dad is in the Lucas's car. Maybe we're going up to Pikes Peak. No, 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 no. We were going to one of the camps. That's Morty. Some of the Lucases went to this camp too. There were different camps you'd go to. There's base camp. There were a couple of camps in the mountains. I remember this place in particular had chipmunks. We would catch the chipmunks in our hats, like our baseball caps. Not hurt them. We thought they were cool. If any kid wanted to hurt them, I wouldn't stand for it. I thought they were bitching. I would have taken one of them home. Big fan of squirrels. At this camp, they had like this course, this obstacle course thing. To build confidence in the kid. They'd be high enough, you'd hurt yourself for sure, or die. 15 feet, 20 feet in the air. That's my brother Michael. He didn't go to the camp. He stayed at home while my little brother was being born. I don't know if my brother would have really been into the camp. I don't think that he was really into riding horses that much. Me and my brother are similar. Michael are similar in a lot of ways, but in some ways we're just like so dissimilar. All three of us are different. John and Michael and me. He's a good guy. He's a minister. He's sort of one of these guys that, his job is to sort of tell people what to do, sort of like that. And that's not really anything that I want to do. I don't give a shit what anybody does. Just, do whatever you want to do. I don't want to be in charge of anyone. That's the life of a minister. Sort of like counseling. I'll counsel. I'll give people my opinions, but I don't want to sit there and preach morally to people. What's moral and what's not, because it doesn't make any difference, because a non-moral person is just going to keep being non-moral. Look at what we've had for the last 4 years. That's my brother Michael. There I am dancing again. That's the crazy dance. I'm not sure my age there. I would have to be 3rd grade or something, maybe. Maybe. Something like that. Hang on. Oh, look at that. I did the old... You like that? I'd like to replay that. That was hysterical. Here's John. This would be John coming home from the hospital. I'm at Camp Holy Cross. That's my dad's Lincoln Continental. That's Sue. That's Johan. That's Johan. Here's the Clarksville Skylift. That is not me in the seat. Notice the legs. Way too long. That is a kid that lived next door named Brent. And I assume that this, because you're not seeing me in this, I assume that is when John was born, or sometime around there, when I was at Camp Holy Cross. Maybe my dad took Michael and, the neighborhood kid up to Clarksville to the Skylift. I went to the Skylift later. That's my brother Michael with the blonde hair. I went to Skylift later. My dad took me up there with some other kids, and I just wasn't on this trip. So it was sometime when I wasn't around, and the only thing that I can come up with is that is when I was at Camp Holy Cross. I'm assuming that that's it. I remember this petting zoo they had. Obviously, Brent is afraid of deer. Look at that deer. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure what species of deer that is. I can't really tell. It was sort of small to be like a mule deer. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's definitely Clarksville. Those things just seem sort of rickety, but... Oh, here's the first seconds I see my little brother John. Right here, those are some friends of mine at camp. That's me, sort of bending down, the long hair. I just had long hair as a kid. Pretty much most of the time I had real long hair. In my eyes. Yep. We're at Camp Holy Cross. They showed up with John. And the rest is history. It was important for me to get all this on DVD so that it existed. I'm the only one that had any copy. And I did. I worked real hard getting this copy to function so I could get everything off of it. It was worth the money. Definitely.